Welcome to part 1 of my AECP Level 1 Final Challenge. I'm required to make a set of feminine cards and packaging using a recycled element. I also need to take inspiration from 3 classes. I decided to gel print my cards using inspiration from easy die cutting techniques, Let It Shine, and Clean and Simple boutique cards. To ensure a cohesive card set, I used a limited product range, which also has the benefit of showing how versatile sets like this bold and beautiful Craft Your Life project kit are. From the kit we'll use the large floral stamp, the floral and leaf dies, which I've already die cut from 80-pound cardstock and put into trays. We'll also use a stencil I made from the large leaf cluster and Yupo paper, the embossing folder, which I've already embossed using 80-pound cardstock. The final item we'll be using to bring everything together is the Halftone cover die, which I've cut here from Yupo. It's stained because I've already used it. We'll also use another version later that I cut from cardstock. We're going to be working on gel plates, so it's important to use mediums that work well with them. I decided to use Altenew alcohol inks because they're transparent, so they'll be augmented by other mediums we use with them. We'll use a limited palette of Razzleberry, Sicilian Amber, and Galactic Stream. I chose these dark shades because we can thin them out with 91% alcohol to achieve a range of shades. I also like working with a limited palette of cyan, magenta, and yellow because we can use it to create a full rainbow. We'll be using 2 mediums to add shine, Perfect Pearls in Perfect Gold, and Amsterdam Standard Acrylic Paint in Pearl White, which will give a nice metallic white finish. We'll now do all the gel printing. As we go, I'll talk about the process and how different Altenew classes inspired these cards. I have multiple plates, so we can make multiple prints at the same time. I'll start by applying a black paint layer to each plate using Windsor, Newton, Galeria Acrylic, and Mars Black. On the first 2, I'm using a small brayer to apply paint through the cardstock stencil I made from the Halftone cover plate. We'll use one with the leaf stencil and the other will be a basic background. On the third plate, I brayered a thin layer of black paint and then I placed the raised side of the embossed image into the paint. I then covered it with scratch paper, rubbed my hands over the entire thing using light pressure, and waited a few seconds for the paint to adhere to the paper. Then I removed it and the embossed image stamp. I really like the edge of the embossed folder and plan to make it part of the card, so I cleaned around it using water and a paper towel. This entire gel plating process took about 2 hours, so I've sped it up here significantly. On the fourth plate, I again brayered a thin layer of paint. I then stamped the large image using the acrylic paint from my stamp wheel. I immediately washed it with water and a soft toothbrush. We're back to plate 1 along with our Yupo leaf stencil. When using alcohol ink on a gel plate, I like to use felt daubers like these from Tonic. I first saturate the felt with 91% alcohol and then add a few drops of alcohol ink. I then daub them on to apply to the gel plate. Here I've chosen to use a teal and yellow, overlapping them to create green. I then use a blower to dry the ink before removing the stencil. We aren't adding an alcohol ink layer to the second plate, so on to the third. I'm planning on only using a small area of the floral image, so I'm using the Halftone Yupo stencil to add some dots and interest to the background of the card. The use of this stencil and the leaf stencil from the last card are inspired by Janis Makula's Easy Die Cutting Techniques class, where she used cover dies as stencils and showed how to make your own die cut background panels. On the fourth plate, I'm adding ink similar to the last plate, making sure there's an overlap between colors. We're now applying Perfect Pearls in a few areas of the first plate. I'm using a makeup brush, which I find makes it a bit easier to control the application than the included brush. And here you can see some of that shine. We're going to use the second plate to make a card panel. On the remaining area, we'll make a metallic cardstock with Perfect Pearls. I was inspired by Carissa Wiley, who made her own glitter cardstock and Let It Shine. The gel plate surface is a bit resistant, so this is a slightly time-consuming process, but the results are beautiful. On the last 2 plates, I'm randomly adding Perfect Pearls. My third class of inspiration is Jen Roz's Clean and Simple boutique cards, where she makes amazing one-layer cards. I love gel plates because they allow us to build complex, dimensional backgrounds that are only one layer. This is our final step, where we'll apply a layer of pearl white paint to each gel plate and cover with paper. I used Neenah Exact Index, but next time I'll use cardstock instead. The metallic paint is yet another inspiration from Carissa Wiley's Let It Shine. I had to remake these two smaller plates, which we'll use with the die-cut flowers and leaves. They follow the same steps as before, but instead of printing on paper, we'll print on the die cuts. Placed both the flowers and leaves starting at the center and working outward, trying to place the largest pieces first. I'm using the end of my finger and a paintbrush to ensure the die cuts make good contact with the gel plate. I then let the pieces dry on the gel plate for about 10 minutes. Now we'll remove our die cuts. Aren't these pretty? And then we'll add a coat of paint and a piece of paper over the gel plate to pull the remaining print. It's time to reveal our gel prints. I like to pull the gel plate off the print to prevent the print from curling. Now I'm going to use a die to look at different possibilities for card fronts. These panels will become the front and back of our box. I'm back with the panels cut and mounted onto 110-pound Neenah card blanks. I also die cut the fancy thanks from the gold cardstock we made. I glued it on another layer cut in white cardstock, and then glued an offset layer of black cardstock below that. Let's look at the different orientations we could choose. We're back with the finished project. I made the packaging off-screen using a cereal box, our small prints, a binding machine, adhesive, and ribbon. I cut the cereal box apart to make a 5 by 6 by 1 inch box. I covered the pieces using the 2 small prints, extras from the large prints, and Beacon Advanced Craft Glue. I used the binding tool to punch holes in the edges and a crocodile to punch a hole in the lid and front piece. I then bound them with ribbon. In person, these cards are even shinier. I love the dots from the halftone cover plate and think they bring the set together. This is a bonus card made from what was left of the embossing folder gel plate, combined with another extra background. I love the way these cards turned out and hope you do too. Thank you for joining me today. I made another video for the masculine cards part of this challenge. In it, I gel print a set of geometric cards using another Craft Your Life project kit, so check that out if you're interested.